Today, I am taking up the topic Evolution Part 1, that is Origin of Life, Theories, and Miller's famous experiment. So, the evolutionary biology deals with the origin and evolution of life on the earth. We have not seen how the evolution has taken place. Then, how to explain? Only through theories supported by evidence we can explain the possible way of origin of life on the earth. A number of theories were proposed during various times by various persons to explain the origin of life on the earth. Some of the theories are given here. The first one, theories of special creation. All the religions, all the famous world religions believe in God. They believe that God is the creator. So, God has created all the living forms on the earth. And these living forms remain the same forever. The fate of various organisms is in the hands of God. According to Bible, God created the entire world within 6 days. Other religions also propose similar theories, but these theories have no scientific support and are not acceptable anymore. Then, theory of spontaneous generation or abiogenesis. That means these theories explain that life appeared all of a sudden from non-living things. People started observing appearance of maggots or worms in the rotting meat or in the soil. And they have thought that life appears all of a sudden out of non-living material. The persons who proposed the theory are Aristotle, von Helmont, Thales, like that, all famous Greek philosophers. So the theory of abiogenesis or spontaneous generation is no longer acceptable. This theory was disproved by 3 famous scientists, namely Louis Pasteur, Spallanzani, and Francisco Redi. They have conducted different types of experiments and they have proposed a theory known as theory of biogenesis. According to Louis Pasteur, Spallanzani, and Redi, life appears only from life. Life never appears from non-living things. And they have proposed a famous adage, omni vivium ex vivo. That means life comes only from life. Let us see how they have disproved the theory of abiogenesis. Redi, an Italian scientist, what he did, he conducted a simple experiment. He kept meat in 2 glass jars. He covered one glass jar with a muslin cloth so that insects are prevented laying eggs in the meat. In the second jar, he placed some meat and left it uncovered. After a few days, he observed maggots or the larvae of insects appearing in the glass jar that was not covered by muslin cloth. In the glass jar covered with muslin cloth, no maggots appeared. So he proposed that maggots appear in the meat because insects have laid eggs in them. So in this way, through the simple experiment, Redi disproved the theory of abiogenesis. Then Spallanzani, what he did, he took some broth, a meat broth or broth made of grains, in 2 glass jars. In 1 glass jar, he boiled it and he sealed the glass jar. The other glass jar was not boiled and kept open. After a few days, he found appearance of various microorganisms in the unboiled and unsealed glass jar. But in the glass jar, that was boiled and sealed. He could not find any microorganisms even after many days and years. So in this way, he also dealt a death blow to theory of abiogenesis. Then Louis Pasteur. He conducted a very famous experiment known as swan neck glass experiment or swan neck flask experiment. In this experiment, he kept a broth in the glass jar, and he extended its neck in the form of a swan neck. Then he boiled the contents and found that no microorganisms appeared in the broth of the glass flask even after many weeks or months. In this way, they have shown that life comes only from pre-existing life and it never appears all of a sudden from non-living things. Then, theory of catastrophism. It was proposed by Georges Cuvier, father of paleontology. He studied about the fossils. He found fossils in various layers of the earth crust. He found the fossils of simple organisms in the lower crust and the fossils of complex organisms or highly evolved organisms in the upper layers of the earth. So, from this observation, he concluded that the earth is subjected to catastrophes frequently. Catastrophes means earthquakes, volcanic eruptions, glaciation, flooding, etc. So, due to these catastrophes, all the living forms die. Then, new living forms appear later on in a different way. So, the old animals or old living beings are replaced by new type of organisms after a very catastrophe. That is the theory of Georges Cuvier. Then, cosmozoic theory. It was proposed by Richter, a scientist called Richter. According to him, life did not evolve on the earth. Instead, life appeared somewhere in the universe. And it remains in the universe in the form of cosmozoa or panspermia. So, life appeared elsewhere in the universe in the form of cosmozoa or panspermia, and these cosmozoa accidentally reach the earth through meteors. So, the earth is seeded by these panspermia by meteors, and slowly these cosmozoa evolved into different forms of life on the earth. And this theory now finds some evidence because recently scientists have found organic matter in the meteors revolving in the universe. Then, so these are various theories proposing the origin of life on the earth. Now, let us study another theory known as the Big Bang theory. The Big Bang theory was proposed by Georges Lemery in the year 1931. And his theory is generally accepted by most of the cosmologists. According to him, 13.7 billion years ago, billion years means 1,000 million years. So around 13.7 billion years ago, the entire universe was condensed into a small hot mass of high density. Then this condensed mass suddenly got exploded around 13.7 billion years ago. And this, due to the great explosion, so this condensed mass got exploded with a great force. And that is called Big Bang. Because of this explosion, the matter started expanding with a lightning speed. And still it is expanding at the speed of light. You know, the light travels at nearly 3 lakh kilometers per second. So even now, the universe is expanding very rapidly. And this expanding universe as it cooled, it gradually produced millions of galaxies. What is a galaxy? Galaxy contains millions of stars and other matter. Our solar system, to which our Earth also belongs, is a part of a galaxy known as Milky Way galaxy. So we are a part of Milky Way galaxy. Then, as the galaxies are the universe cooled, what happened? Planets appeared in the solar system. The gas is cooled and a core is formed and gradually planets took shape. Around 5,000 to 6,000 when the earth was cooled to around 5,000 to 6,000 degrees centigrade, what happened? The lighter gases, hydrogen, helium, etc., they escaped into they escaped and formed a primitive atmosphere. So, when the earth cooled to this temperature, 5,000 to 6,000 degrees centigrade, the lighter gases formed the atmosphere. And this atmosphere included hydrogen, helium, etc. Then, in the primitive atmosphere, oxygen was absent. So, it was a reducing atmosphere. This reducing atmosphere has a great significance. If oxygen was present in the primitive atmosphere, life would have not evolved due to its oxidative nature. So, the initial atmosphere was a reducing one, and it was bombarded by cosmic rays, UV rays, lightning, etc. As a result, what happened? These lighter gases produced, in course of time, ammonia, methane, water vapor, carbon dioxide, etc. Then, as the earth cooled further, the water vapor got condensed. It started falling as rain. And in this rain, these gases, ammonia, methane, carbon dioxide, got dissolved and primitive oceans were formed. In this way, primitive oceans carrying these gases, ammonia, methane, carbon dioxide, etc., appeared on the earth. That is about Big Bang theory. Now, the Big Bang theory is almost accepted by various scientists. Then comes the biochemical evolution of life. So, this explains that life evolved due to interaction of various chemicals in the primitive oceans. This theory was proposed by a Russian scientist known as Alexander Oparin in the year 1924, and it was supported by a British scientist called Haldane, J.B.S. Haldane, in the year 1929. This biochemical evolution of life is now accepted by the scientists. Now let us see what this theory tells. According to this theory, primitive life appeared on the earth spontaneously about 500 million years after the appearance of the earth. So all the calculations show that earth appeared around 4.5 billion years ago. Then 500 million years later, that is when the earth was around 4 billion years old, life appeared on the earth. Then, I have told you already, the primitive oceans contained ammonia, methane, water vapor, carbon dioxide, etc. These were subjected to bombardment by UV rays, cosmic rays, X-rays, like that. Then, first, and one more point, this type of water was referred to prebiotic soup by Haldane. He called this type of water containing methane, ammonia, carbon dioxide, etc., is called as prebiotic soup by J.B.S. Halden. This water also contained various types of minerals that was formed due to dissolution of rocks. Then, in this primitive oceanic water, what happened? Some aggregates of lipid molecules formed. Lipid molecules got together and they formed aggregations. These aggregations were called as conservates by Oparin. Oparin called these lipid aggregations of molecules as conservates. These conservates gradually acquired membranes made of lipids. Then they have also evolved nitrogen bases, then RNA, enzymes, free genes, etc. And gradually they have evolved into anaerobic forms or heterotrophs. I have told you the primitive atmosphere had no oxygen. So, life appeared first in the form of anaerobic forms which were heterotrophs. Gradually, these heterotrophs evolved into cyanobacteria. The cyanobacteria started releasing oxygen into the atmosphere through photosynthesis. And as oxygen got accumulated in the atmosphere, aerobic forms appeared or evolved on the earth. In this way, first anaerobic forms and later on aerobic forms appeared on the earth as the oxygen got accumulated in the atmosphere. Then, in course of time, all the complex organisms we are seeing today evolved from these primitive organisms. Then, how to believe this theory? Is it true? Is it believable? Scientists never accept any theory unless there is some experimental evidence. They seek evidence. Without evidence, no scientific theory has any value. The experimental proof of this theory of biochemical evolution of life, comes from a simple experiment conducted by Miller and Urey. Stanley Miller and his student Harold Urey in the year 1953. In this year, Miller conducted a very simple experiment. He created a primitive atmosphere in a glass flask. In a glass flask, what he did, he placed ammonia, methane, carbon dioxide, water. And he connected one pump to circulate the gases. Then he also provided one heater and also one condenser. And he sealed the entire equipment and started heating it. To create the primitive atmosphere, he produced continuous electrical sparks in the glass flask. So he placed methane, ammonia, carbon dioxide, water in a glass flask, exposed that fluids to electric sparks, heated it to a temperature of 800 degrees and circulated that for many weeks. At the end of the experiment, he collected the fluid and tested. And what he found? He found a number of amino acids in that fluid. So this clearly indicates that these inorganic substances, in course of time, produced amino acids. So in nature also, in this way, first amino acids were formed. And these amino acids slowly produced proteins, then enzymes, RNA, DNA, and other structures that gave rise to life. So in this way, the Miller's experiment provides experimental evidence in support of biochemical evolution of life. Later on, other scientists continued the experiment and they have discovered appearance of many more substances. So in this way, now scientists believe that life appeared on Earth in the primitive oceans due to interaction of various inorganic substances. So, these are some of the theories that explain the origin of life. In the next part, I will explain the theories of organic evolution. These are the theories of evolution, and next I am going to deal with theories of organic evolution. Thank you.